Senator Fitzhenley.
All right, so the Senate was on today, and Mr. Fitzhenley, he said these things.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. As the year 2025 draws to a close, and it has been a challenging year in many regards, I think it would be good of us lawmakers to note on the motion of adjournment an important bit of information which was brought to public attention this week, on Wednesday of this week, by the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The data indicate that Jamaica is about to achieve a 30-year low in terms of murders per calendar year. In fact, the data indicates that for the first time in approximately 31 years, Jamaica is on track to record below 700 murders in a calendar year. The data also indicates that for the first time in 28 years, since murders crossed the 1,000 mark in 1997 under the Percival Patterson administration, Jamaica is now set to record way below 1,000 murders. And it's important to note these developments, sir, because there are members of the Senate, as a matter of fact, who do not know what it is like to exist in a society in Jamaica where murders have not crossed 1,000. There's a generation in Jamaica that does not know what it is like to exist in a society without that level of violent crime. This is not an occasion for a victory lap, sir, or a moment to gloat, because I believe as lawmakers we understand that in a society as small as Jamaica, population-wide, over 600 murders in a calendar year is way too many. However, progress has been made in the fight against violent crime. Indeed, murders in Jamaica have plummeted in 2025 by over 42%. And I believe it's very important that the Parliament of Jamaica makes a note of this development. I believe as well that it is only right that us lawmakers extend our congratulations to the police, including the Police Commissioner, Dr. Kevin Blake, and the men and women he leads, also members of the Jamaica Defence Force, who have put their lives on the line daily in 2025 to ensure that up until Wednesday of this week, a whopping 435 fewer people in Jamaica have been murdered this year when compared to 2024. I wish to place on the record congratulations to the men and women of the security forces.
You heard that? That was in the Senate today. What a massive news this for Jamaica. What a news. That's what my friends on media should be talking about. That's what we should be talking about. Not spending hours talking about other people, this and people's sexuality. What people's sexuality have to do with us? Huh? You do what you do, sir. People do what they do. Leave that alone. You really want to help your party? Play that and have a discussion on it with your listeners.
Good policies matter.
Here is Mr. Fitzhenley again, speaking about good policies matter. Go ahead.
I recall a page 1 editorial in 2017. Good policy.
Listen to me. Governments exists as an extension of God, you know. Governments don't exist to enjoy the trappings of state. That's not why governments exist. You elect a government in what is called the social contract. You surrender rights. Do you know, for example, that before you get paid, you work your money. The government goes in it and takes out some. Your money, you know. Think about that. You work what you work. Casey, are you ready now, Casey?
Hey,
Are you there?
what's up?
Casey?
Yeah,
You're running? You're running? Oh, go on.
No, I was just telling you, say I'll come up later instead. But
Oh, how long from now?
maybe half an hour.
All right. So 9 o'clock?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Cool. Good night,
Okay.
everybody.
Listen, the state, you enter into a social contract with the state to protect your interests. That's what you do. And in entering this social contract with the state, you surrender your rights, some of your rights, to the state. For example, when you work, they just take out their income tax. And therefore, the people of the state must hold government to account. They're not to be free to do what they want. It's inclusive. The best governments are governments that are inclusive. Because, as I said to you earlier, that governments are extension of the divine. All governments are in place because of God, you know. And when governments fail, they're not to continue in government. And quite frankly, they should not return to government. You know, one of the things that we need to look at in Jamaica is whether or not the cabinet, which is, they have what is called collective responsibility in the cabinet. And if the cabinet fails the people, why are there people in the parliament that were members of that cabinet? None of those people should be back in government. None of the people whose policies placed hardship upon the backs of the people of Jamaica, those people should not be back in the parliament. We need a constitutional process that removes them. For example, no member of that PNP the FinSAC cabinet should be allowed to enter back into cabinet. They have failed. They have failed the people. They have broken the social contract. And as a result of that, they should be fired. Why would you rehire a man that failed you? I mean, you give a man a company to run and him bankrupt the company. Run it to the ground. You hire him back? You gonna hire back that man? It's a joke. When governments fail, just as when governments succeed, that government should be rewarded. I see no reason for there to be a change of government in this country. I don't see no reason. Because the government is delivering the results. Mr. Fisenli, go ahead. Coming back to that.
Matter. I recall a page 1 editorial.
Good policies matter. Good policies matter. Jamaicans, stop voting with your belly. Stop voting with your belly. Look at policies. And a government that reduces your murder.
Policies matter. I recall a page 1 editorial in 2017.
A government that reduces murder by 42% in 1 year is a government that deserves your support. Why is it that this is not the center of discussion on our platforms? Why are we wasting time talking about peripheral things and not showing Jamaica these types of achievements? Good policies matter. And I'm going to say it again. No member of the PNP cabinet in the 90s should be in parliament. None of them. We need term limits. And when you are part of a government that fails, what are you going back to do? Mr. Paulwell? Mr. Golden? Huh? What are they doing in the parliament? Jamaica needs to wake up to some serious realities now. Mr. Bunting? You going to give Mr. Bunting the security ministry again? Huh? To go pray for divine intervention? You going to put back Mr. Paulwell at the Ministry of Energy? Dr. Campbell? These guys have failed the people. You know, on the West they have collective responsibility. The cabinet decision is the decision of all of them. It's rubbish. And there are Jamaicans alive today who are suffering because of the failed policies. You hear people talk about JPS bill? I have to be hugging it up too. Don't blame it on this government. I have said it repeatedly on this program that the ills of this society today can be laid squarely at the feet of the People's National Party. That is my position. That they have held back the progress of this marvelous country. That where Jamaica is today, we would have been further ahead. And when the history of this country is written, it will show without a shadow of a doubt that the 18.5 years of PNP mismanagement destroyed the hopes and dreams and aspirations of so many Jamaicans. And I will tell you this. We need truth and reconciliation in this country. We need a truth and reconciliation. Because some people need to come apologize. And I introduced to you earlier this week systemic enslavement. Systemic enslavement. Economic enslavement. Because you're not free if you have to be begging. You're not free if patronage-based politics is how you survive. You're not free through clientism. You're free when your government creates an environment that you can pursue your dreams and aspirations. You are free when you can go into the society and get a good job, a good paying job, and decide where you want to live. That is freedom. And sadly, systemic slave enslavement was introduced in Jamaica because when you have 500, almost 500,000 of your people unemployed, then that's not freedom. And as Bill Clark said at one time, it was a failed state. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, among them the rights to life, liberty, and listen to me, the pursuit of happiness. The pursuit of happiness. And you know that is fundamental and theological. Because the command God gave to the people in the garden was to be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. Pursue your happiness. Subdue the earth. You can't subdue earth and you don't have no work. To pursue happiness. 3 things government exists to do. To preserve life. The preservation of life. Because if you don't have life, you can't pursue happiness. And under that regime, we became among the most murderous countries in the world. That's a failure of government. Life, liberty, liberty. In other words, freedom. Economic freedom that comes with opportunities, educational opportunities, social services that lifts people's dignity and gives them agency to pursue happiness. Our women, some were left with no choice, had no choice but to sell themselves. Many people ran away from the country of their birth, and others turned to nefarious means to survive. That's a failure of your government. And when you live in a country that you have to be cowering and afraid your government fail you. When you live in a society and you can't find a job, your government is failing you. And when you live in a society that you cannot pursue your happiness, you don't see a future, and you are left hopeless on the street corner, digging out your hand middle and wondering where your next meal is coming from, that is a failure of the social contract that you entered into with the government, where you subsumed, you gave up some of your rights to them, and they failed. And that's why we have elections. That's why we have elections. That's why we don't give them more than 5 years, so that we can correct the wrong. And so after 5 years, you correct it. And when you correct it after 5 years, you don't go back to them. If they are to be considered for another chance, they must refresh themselves. It can't be the same ones. It cannot be the same ones. And we must not make the same mistake. Because I am getting old, you know. But I say to my we must not make the same mistake. Jamaica is to continue on this path of low crime. This is the path we must continue on. I wonder if you understand me. Never again must we allow our society to be overrun by criminals. This is our opportunity. We must not go back. Under 700 murders, well, let me tell you this. That's still 700 too much. Yes, we commend the government and we are happy about it. But that's still 700 too much. Next year, the number must come down further. We must live in a peaceful society. The Prime Minister's vision of having Jamaicans sleep with their doors and windows open must be realized. We can do it if we have the leadership. It's nonsense about time come. Time come for what? Time come to go back to the failed policies of the past? Huh? You know, even with the hurricane, the Bank of Jamaica this morning kept their policy rate. Just to show you the progress that we have made as a country. And we want to go back. We must go forward, Jamaica. Lego the failed leaders, man. The failed politicians. Some of them are career politicians. Let them go. Embrace a future. Look at the old failures them. Them go find something else and do. Mr. Golden should not even be running for Prime Minister. Mr. Golden shouldn't run for Prime Minister in Jamaica, you know. All of you know that. Mark Golden should not run for Prime Minister. You know, Ronnie Thwaites is a deacon in the Catholic Church, and Mr. Thwaites described the situation as the greatest, note, the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich. What an indictment on his own party, because it is a party Mr. Thwaites supports. As a matter of fact, it is the party that Mr. Thwaites served as education minister in, and part of that cabinet. Okay? That is a fact. And one of their own said that. But yet, we have this man running around in Jamaica wanting to lead. Wanting to lead us. Yes? Seems very strange. I believe we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity, Jamaica. What a glorious opportunity that has been presented to us to achieve our potential, to achieve our dreams, to improve our standing in the world, to become the Singapore of the Caribbean. Here is our opportunity. Many people in the diaspora wants to come home. You will see the price of real estate shot up. We have an opportunity. Yes? Let us embrace this. This is what we need to build on. This is what we need to build on, and stop being distracted by the voices that don't mean Jamaica no good. Just want to get their nose back in the trough for them and them friends. They're not about the interest of the people.